Hey there, future professionals. Welcome to Employability Plus, the channel where you'll find everything you need to build the skills that get you hired.
Hey, data professionals, it's Arun here of Employability Plus. In today's video, we are going to see important tricks and tips to effectively use Power BI. Are you interested to know more? Would you be interested to use those techniques which would enhance your productivity while using Power BI? All in store for today. Let's move. As I said, it's going to be the tips and tricks which you are going to use are productivity hacks which would enhance your effectiveness in Power BI. So I'm going to show you 5 different things and data cleaning steps which are very essential for you, to make reports more appealing. And this is going to be like this. We are going to see something like this before and after. All those 5 techniques, I'm going to show you what is before and what is after, and then we are going to see how to make this happen. Hope you're so excited to see this video. Before you do that, I request you to subscribe to this channel. What I observed here is, let me show you the analysis. What you saw is right. I think many of you have not subscribed yet to this channel. I strongly recommend and request you to subscribe so that you can continue watching this YouTube channel, and also you get notification whenever I upload a new video. So please do subscribe and support, and let's move on. So as I said, we are going to see a before and after. Look at this data set. This is a one example what I'm giving. You might have the data in different columns which you need to arrange in one single column. If it is an Excel, we do copy paste. Very simple, right? We just copy for every single column, we copy and then you paste it below the previous column, like the end of the previous column, right? We do that, but it is a manual task what we do, right? And assume that you get similar data sets quite often. Can we automate those tasks? The purpose of using a Power BI, not only for business intelligence, but to automate some of the mundane tasks which we do regularly. That is also an objective here we have, and let's do this activity and see how it can be done on Power BI. Let's upload the first one. We have the data set. This is the data we were discussing. Let's load it. So when you have the data set like this, all you have to do is select it using control and right click, say unpivot columns. So entire data has come here, right? You have term 1, term 2, term 3. It has been organized in such a way. If you want to if you want to make it as a list, you can delete unwanted columns, right? You can just delete unwanted columns. Or let's say you select this 2 instead of deleting other things and say remove. Okay, you can right click here and say remove other columns, so you'll have only these columns, right? And then you can sort the data based on your requirement. You can just sort the data in ascending order. So you'll have term 1, term 2, term 3, like this. It will be a sequence. I hope you understood the concept. All I have did is I just selected the columns and used unpivot. The next task we are going to see before and after. Look at this data set, before and after. So what do we have? Let's say you have done, let me give you a scenario. So assume that you have done a research or a survey in different cities of a particular country or a province. Now you have the data set with you. What you want is you want to have a summary of this information, which means you want to know have the country, the province, and the total number of cities which you have covered under a province, basically, right? So the country is here, and you have the state, and you also have the cities which you need to give as a number here. But the data set has a text, it has been typed. Now you want to make it as an analysis. You want to, bring it, or let's say you want to convert this text into numbers so that you can make analysis out of it, right? So let's see how we can do this in Power BI. I hope you understood the concept, right? We have the text information with commas. Now you want to convert this into, numbers to make it more, insightful to the user. Let's see. Upload the second file. So you have the data like this: column 1, column 2, and column 3, which has, the state, country, right? As I said earlier, give OK, got up, got uploaded, right? Now we have the data like this. What is the next first step we have to do? So we have the data. Let's bring this headers as the first step. Transform, use first row as headers, right? So you got the headers, right? And then you have the country, province, and cities, right? So the second step is right click on this one. Okay, right click on the cities which you are going to do and split column by delimiters. Now, since comma is already been selected, which is the divider for us, you can go straight away to advanced option. Now, you can select your own option. It can be a comma, it can be a semicolon, it can be a space, it can be anything for that matter. In this case, I'm using a comma as a separator or to delimit. Now, you can use instead of columns, because all this information, if you see, are there in one particular row, right? So what we can do is we are not going to delimit based on the row column, but we are going to delimit based on the row. So just select rows and give OK. Now the data has come like this. Still, it is not the way we wanted, right? So still the country names, it is coming here, but other places of the province it comes as nil, right? So we cannot have a nil value here. Although, sorry, basically it is a null value here. So it is a kind of a typo in words, right? While I spell it. So null value we have here, it is a country, right? So what we can do is we can just, remove this null values, or let's say copy this top, whatever is available top to the null values. How do we do that in order to make analysis? So you can just drop down here, right? Click here and say fill down. So whatever is there on the top, let's say Canada is there in the top, and then you have null value. So this, the country name will come down now. So when I give down, all the, all the provinces will have the country name. Now you can check it also. You can see the respective provinces got the country name. Earlier it was null value except the first state or province. So getting my point? So we used this option, right click, right? Fill down. So based on the previous value, it has come. Now, most of the things have been done already. So whatever we wanted, most of the things are done. Now we just have to do this one. We have to bring this particular thing here, which is nothing but the count. Instead of this, basically we want to have the count. Once you get the information, all you have to do is you just have to, copy this data set, right? The way we want it. We want to present it in such a way so that we can use, Excel. Just you can paste this information, whatever you got. All you have to do is create a pivot table, a simple pivot table, which is all DP, enter, enter, enter. The pivot table, what you can do, you can just bring country into the row, province into the row again, and then you have cities in the count, right? So country, province, and city, and then right click, paste special value, display, change it to classic. The reason I am converting these values into the Excel is the way we wanted to show. Like, I have kept the data set like this, right? So to bring it in this format, we are using Excel. Although once we start using advanced tools in Power BI, I will tell you how to do similar activity in Power BI itself. At this stage, let's see how to convert this the way we wanted at the end in the Excel. Once we've done the initial processing. So initial processing has been done in Power BI. The structure of this data has been done using Excel, Excel pivot table. Right? I hope you understood. Let's move on to the third topic.
To hit that subscribe button and become part of our loyal pack at Employability Plus. Woof.
The next technique we are going to learn is, I have given it as before and after. There is some, this particular column, consider this as employee code, this column. Although it is written as employee name, please consider this as an employee, code. So we have employee name, employee code, city and gender. Is the most unorganized data you would come across. Similar to this, you definitely come across various data sets, but here, whatever we have seen till date, this is the most unorganized, which means employee name just placed in at various rows. Similarly, city is given in different rows and gender is given in different rows. But what I want is, I want like this: employee name. I want to have gender. Sorry, employee code, gender, employee name, and city, not this way, right? So I want it in a proper way: employee code, gender, employee name, and city, right? Let's do it, and let's change this into an employee code also while we are doing it, right? So let's see how we can do this one so that we can make it more interesting. Now in this case, if you see this one, the common thing which you could find in both the thing is the employee code. Employee code is in a proper order, although it is repeated multiple times. You can refer this as a primary field for city, gender, and employee name to combine all together like this. So let's see. If it is a small data, it is easy to do. If it's a large data, we can do the way I'm doing right now in Power BI, right? Let's do it. Third file. You okay, right? So I'm just uploading this one. So it has come here. The first step, what we do for every single activity would be, change, or let's say move this one to first row as headers. Once we have done that, the next step we can do here, since I have wrongly written, right, the employee name, it is actually what? Employee, what? This is employee, not name, right? This is, we can here and rename it as employee code, right? So let's do that. And then we can, in order to, make this as a unique list, right? What we can do is we can duplicate this, the tables first. There may be multiple ways to do it. I'm giving a simple way of doing, combining or making this as a unique table. Rather, duplications, perhaps not needed, right? Which we are going to remove it, right? So here I'm going to keep this as the first table. The first table, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this, I'm going to retain employee code for all the tables. I'm going to remove other things, empty cells. So first is employee name. I'm going to remove this empty cells and then keep this as employee name. This table will be employee name. The next table I'm going to focus will be the city. So again, I'm going to right click here, or let's say drop down here, remove empty cells here, and keep this table as city name. Last one, I'm going to click here, gender. I'm going to click here and then remove. So you have to click the drop down, remove empty. So this one I'm going to keep it as a gender. What is common between these three tables which I just created? Employee name is there, the unique cell, city name is unique cell, and gender is also unique cell, unique table in fact. So what is common between all is, in all the tables you can find employee code. I kept deliberately employee code as it is and deleted null values in the column which I wanted to, right? So which means that restored, we have retained the employee code in all the tables. Now let's connect all the tables together so that we can have a unique table on our own. Let's do that. So how to connect the tables? We have seen it before. I hope you can recollect. Yes, you guessed it right. We are going to use a merge query to combine all these three things which we have just created. So home, we are going to use merge query, right? And we are going to say take this employee name which already has the employee name, employee code. So let's add the city name first into this. So you know how to do it. In one of the video I have told you how to merge columns. So select the common ones, which is employee code, right? And then you say that left, you want to pick all these information from the first table which is left outer and only those which are matching here, right? So we are going to take this and give OK. So we get a table. Here we can choose only the columns we want. What we want? We want only the column. From here we want only the city name. So we got the city name, right? So this table now has two more information, right? So which which is essential. These two we don't want. So let's remove it. Remove the column. So one more step we are away. One more step we have to get the final result. So what we can do, the next step is again go to merge query, right? We have employee name, employee code and city. So select the last one which is gender, which is missing here, right? And again do this two, match this two, right? Left outer, give OK. It will not take much time, although when I do it, I'm making you understand, so I'm doing it very slowly. It doesn't take much time to align the data in the way we wanted, right? It doesn't take much time, right? So I'm selecting this time untick all gender. So look at this data set now, how it was earlier. It was all messy, the data was all messy, right? Everywhere it was not proper. It was, yeah, it was like this, all messy. It was not properly aligned. So how did we made this data now? We made it. What did we do? What did we do basically in order to get the way we wanted? We just duplicated the tables, removed the blanks, right? And combined all using merge query. So simple step, duplicate tables, right? Removed, blanks and combined all using merge query, right? Let's move on to the next one. Yeah, we will upload the last file, hack 4. So this is how I have the data set. If you remember the first one, we combined all these things together as one single column. Similar thing we are going to do, but this time in a different way. Let's see how it can be done. So the table has come here. Okay, we got serial number, term 1 and term 2, right? So we are going to use this time a different thing, which is we are going to use, add column, custom column, or let's use conditional column. This will be more easier to combine this together, removing the null values. Let's use conditional column, which we learned in the previous one of the video, right? So if, please understand what I'm here giving as a condition is this new column, let's keep the updated column. Okay, if the column term 1, right, if it is equals, okay, if it equals null, let's give null. If it is equals null, then what I want in the output is change this into select column option and mention that you want term 2. If it is a null column, if this is a null column, I want term 2. So I'm defining this as term 2. else 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 I want, again select column, change it to select column, this option from the text, and change and mention this is else you want term 1. What I'm saying is if this term 1 column is null, it will take this. If it is not null, it will take the same thing, which is term 1. So I'm giving OK. So you'll get the updated column, which is a combination of these two things. It's a very simple way we can combine two different things, okay, two different columns into one column by mentioning that null value. If it is a null value, it's similar to what you do in Excel if condition. Similar to what you do in Excel if condition, right? The ones which we are doing in Power BI, we have similarities in Excel, like merge query has a similarity in VLOOKUP. This is if condition is the substitute in Excel, right? So let's move on to the fifth topic. The last one which we are going to see is, how to clean the data. Data which is copied from some websites, web pages. Assume that you have copied some of the data from the web pages, right? And then it has come like this with special characters. You could find a lot of special characters in this, in this text, right? Special characters like asterisk is there, hash is there, you have at symbol, various things. Now, how to make this the way I have done it? Although some of the spaces at this point of time we are not reducing it since there are a lot of spaces, right? But we removed all the special characters except I think exclamation has been retained. Okay, maybe we can remove that also when we do it, right? So let's see how we can do it. For that we have to again upload the file. So here we are for the final technique which we are going to see. Let's upload this file. Before we uploading, the task which we have, as you know, the task is to remove unwanted special characters from these, text, these lines, unwanted and special characters from these lines. However, if you look at this data, it has also unwanted at the bottom, right, which we don't require at all, the null values. So let's upload this data into the query. And then first remove these unwanted things, the null values. So how to remove it? Go to remove rows, remove from the bottom. So basically I have, how many rows we have unwanted things? 9 rows from 8 to 16. So let's, which is an inclusive of 8. Let's remove these 9 unwanted things first. Let's keep only those which we are going to work with. So we have that because now we can use add column and you go for custom column. So where we are going to, clean this and remove these special characters. Now we are going to use a function called, select, which is text dot select. This is the function we are going to use, a simple thing. And then we can say column, we can select this column where we have that information, the data basically, column. And then here, please remove, we are not going to remove the special characters. We are going to retain the characters we want, retain, the things which we want, not removing we don't want. So in the case, what is that I want to retain is, I want to retain the letters A to Z, okay, and I want to retain the numbers 1 to 9. I hope you understood. So numbers and letters we are going to retain. The remove we are not worried about. So retain, I have this Excel sheet with me, right? So this one, these are the things which we are talking about, right? So A to Z and 0 to 9. This is what we want to retain. So we can just copy this formula, which is text.select column, which I told you at the beginning. Only I'm adding this thing, right? Let's add together, right? This we know how to do it, which is nothing but text.select and select the column. Then give only those which you want to retain and give OK. You will get this one. But if you want to have a space, you can use text.replace formula. It's a very simple formula again. You can use text.replace. Let me build it and then I'll show you. So copy paste so that it will be easy for you to understand. We can do text.replace. Okay. Open bracket and select the column we want to work with, comma. Then which character you want to replace. It has to be done individually. Please understand, we are not going to do it at the same time. So first, let me focus on the first one, which is hash. So let me give hash. I want to remove and then remove with space. Give a space. This is one replacement is done. The next replacement, we have to put again this formula at the beginning. Okay, using you can close this bracket and then again build the text dot replace. This time, okay, we are going to give what? We are going to add another character. Like this time we are going to add at and replace it with comma. You can give a comma here. Like this you can go, so you can go on build like this. So what we can do is instead, okay, this formula we can copy paste in the editor. Since we know the formula, we can copy paste and run the report. Now Now you can see the data has been cleaned with the space this time. Last time we have done text dot select where the spaces were not there. Now with the space we got this thing done. Right? I hope you have understood the concept how to clean the data when you have special characters. With this, we are coming to the end of today's discussion, wherein we discussed about the tricks and tips of using Power BI Power Query. So hope you had a wonderful learning, right? And you will apply these concepts, the tips and tricks or hacks in your professional life. Thank you very much. Looking forward to meet you again in another session. Thank you.